I do want to just pose a question to you, and I don't think it's something I would consider really doing, but you have the running back from Boise State, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐚, possibly like on the board around that pick. Do you think there's a team that would want to trade up for him? You know, is there? Do you think he's an attractive enough player to be able to trade down? And second part of the question, if you're offered something of value for Breece Hall, would you consider pulling that trigger on what could be deemed as a generational running back coming out? Or is the value at the position just not worth it at all, considering where we got Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis in last year's draft? Just more so a discussion point than anything else. I hadn't really given it much thought until yesterday. Matt, I'll throw this one to you first. What are your thoughts on the running back?
I don't like that idea. In taking a trade for Breece Hall, I think you'd be selling low. I still think Breece Hall is a very damn good player.
So let me preface it with like a 4th round pick isn't enough for me to trade Breece Hall. Like even a 3rd round pick, I'm probably not doing it. If you're offered a 2nd though, I'm probably going to do that.
No, I wouldn't do it. And I know that's probably what you're going to get in a trade. I'm not saying Breece Hall is going to yield a 1st round pick, but I would rather keep Breece Hall than trade him for a 2nd round pick and draft a running back in the 1st round. That's not a route that I would look to go. They need significant help on their defense. I would hope that if their 1st round pick is not a quarterback, that it's something on the defensive side of the ball, unless you're trading down and like taking a Tyler Warren or something like that. I don't think I like the state of the offensive line, and I don't think there's one where the Jets are going to be picking where I'm like, oh yeah, this guy is anywhere close to the prospects that were in last year's 1st round draft. And like, you're going to need probably 3 defensive linemen next year, 2 on the interior. You're probably going to need another edge because Hassan Reddick isn't going to be back and he hasn't been good. And, you know, you might have to replace DJ Reed and we don't know what they're going to do at linebacker, and you can need 2 more safeties. So I just feel like that'd be a really poor allocation of resources if the Jets went that route.
Fair enough. Bean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I actually agree with Matt. I'm not into it. I don't know. I think like if there's one strength on the team, although like Breece has been a little banged up, I think it's our running back position. You know what I mean? Like we have it's pretty deep, and you see that A-Rod loves Isaiah Davis, loves him. He'll throw him the ball in traffic, man. He don't give a shit. Like he doesn't trust certain wide receivers, certain tight ends, but he loves Isaiah Davis, baby. You know, so I don't know. I think it's for good reason. Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis have shown that while they're maybe not ready to be premier backs or never will be, that's a really nice stable with Breece at the top. Don't forget, guys, a lot of like, you know, Aaron Rodgers' touchdowns throughout the seasons or his yards, it's little dump offs to Breece, and he's just running around. You know what I mean? He's getting 25 yards or whatever it might be. So Breece is still a stud. We haven't figured out how to really open up the running game so it's a dominant part of the plan. At least, especially as far as we thought it was going to be. We thought that was going to be like the bread and butter. Aaron Rodgers on the field was going to open it up, and we saw it from week 1. The Niners just said, "Okay, well that's great and all, but we're going to make you prove that Aaron Rodgers needs us to spread out a little bit." And we've seen that a lot this year. And our offensive line had issues, like they're looking really good right now, particularly in pass pro, but a little bit better in the run game. But again, it's like we really haven't figured out how to open it up. And I think a lot of it is schematic. We run a lot out of 12 and 13. And quite frankly, we come out there like when you bring a 12 or a 13 personnel out there, the goal is to dominate the line of scrimmage. You got 13 out there. You're saying we're going to push you back 5 yards and open holes. And our guy's going to it's like the old Emmitt Smith thing. Like Emmitt Smith didn't get contact a lot of the time till like 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. And that was the first move he had to make. He just went, pew. That's what we're hoping to do, but we don't have the horses to do that for whatever reason. Again, offensive line issues, maybe the tight ends having them out there, they're not really having the impact that you would hope they do. Whatever it is, we haven't really been able to do that, and we're running out of those packages. We're having a lot more success running out of 11 because we're spreading the defense out and keeping them on their heels a little bit, keeping them guessing. When we bring 13, they know what we're doing. We throw out of it a very low percentage. I don't remember what it was. We were talking about it a couple weeks ago, but I just forget what it was. But it's on the lower side. When we come out in 12 or 13, we're running more times than not. They know that. They're ready for it, and they just stack it. So I think it puts guys like Breece Hall at a little bit of a disadvantage. Again, great backs. Like if he's Barry Sanders, sure, he can make that work. I don't give a shit who's here. I'm going to juke 12 guys, even though there's only 11. One guy got a second chance, and I juked him too. Like that's the way that a guy like Barry Sanders is. Breece Hall isn't Barry Sanders, but that doesn't mean he's not a great back. And so I think, like, we've talked about this for different reasons, but I'm not the biggest fan of creating holes to fill when we have holes to fill. So, you know what I mean? Like, trading Breece Hall, Matt said it perfectly. We're going to be trading low. You're getting pennies on the dollar, so to speak. And then you're going to use your premium draft to fill that. It just seems like, I don't know. That's a little bit of, extra work that we didn't need to do, unless they think he's washed, something like that, which I don't think is the case. He's going into year 4. I'm not too concerned. So anyway, I don't love the idea.
I guess my thought process is coming from, and maybe it's more he's a chip to be moved in season next year. Like, I don't even think we're going to franchise him after next season. I think more likely than not, especially if we're taking a huge dead cap in 2026, I don't know if that's in the cards. Maybe they work out some kind of extension. More so a thought experiment than anything else.
What's up, guys? Matt O'Leary from Talkin' Jets. If you liked that video, please make sure to subscribe and follow for more New York Jets content.